right, so we got the live stream post notifying us that on Monday, March 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be having a live stream, presumably with 3RL, to go over the new World Boss Legend, whatever other changes to World Boss are coming, and then however Black Swan fits into this, and then also Thanos. But that's all the information we have right now. That got me thinking, there's no way, despite the fact that I said this in a video, there's no way that that's the only thing in the video, in the update, right? There's no way that's the only thing that's going to be in the live stream, because that would be the shortest live stream ever. There wouldn't be any point to that. Now, I tried racking my brain thinking, when was the last time that they had an update where they didn't show all of the characters, all of the uniforms? And I couldn't put my finger on an exact one that they had done that for recently, in recent memory. But for sure, they've done this before. For sure, they've left things as a surprise for the live stream. And they've also left things as a surprise for the actual update. So I wouldn't put it past them. Now, essentially what I wanted to do is speculate based on what we are getting and how they could connect that to other things, as well as the live stream notification here. Because what's very interesting, and to me curious, if you zoom in here, you can see that it's a bunch of feathers. It's a bunch of feather and feather-like patterns in gold and gray and white and black. And so it's very interesting to me that this is the motif they're going with, because usually the live stream notifications have character models for 2 of the characters. Now, you could argue, Alex, they didn't have that many options for the live stream notification. Well, but they still could have used old Thanos and Black Swan. Interesting that they didn't. Additionally, at the bottom here, it says, are you ready to ascend to new heights in the V99 update? So this is very interesting. It sounds like there's going to be some sort of new upgrade system. I don't want to say there's something like beyond tier 4, because that would make people lose their minds, but that's sort of what it sounds like to me. Now, it doesn't mean that it's something beyond tier 4. It could be something like artifacts. I could just be reading into it, and it could genuinely be nothing new. In that regard, it could just be a play on the word ascend, because that's what birds do. That's what swans do, and we're getting Black Swan. But let me delve into this a little bit more, because I think this idea of ascension in this next update, considering that we're getting a new world boss, presumably getting other world boss changes, and then we're also getting Black Swan and Thanos, makes me and a lot of other players believe that we could be seeing a radical change to world boss. So perhaps this new world boss is going to be World Boss Ascension, or something like that, to go above World Boss Legend, who knows. Perhaps they're going to ascend other World Boss Ultimates and give them their own Legend modes. This is a popular opinion, popular idea rattling around right now on the, online, on, Twitter, Discord, etc. And basically, a big thought is that Thanos is going to be getting an upgrade to World Boss Legend. That would be really cool in my opinion. I think that would be fantastic. And they don't really have to do anything but change the model. They could keep the fight the way that it is, obviously tune up his damage and his HP and his defenses, but they could keep the fight exactly the same way that it is, change his character model. Hell, they could even keep the Black Order character models the same, and just, there you go, boom, brand new World Boss Legend. That would be a big win for us, because it would mean that, it would mean a lot of things. Interestingly, it would mean that you might have a World Boss Legend that drops Odin's Blessings. That would be really cool. And it could also mean that you have one more World Boss Legend to roll when you're rolling, right? Because right now, the way that it works, most of the rolls, it's all a 6.6% chance, but then most of those are actually not World Boss Legends, which is frustrating. But aside from that ascension of the World Boss Ultimates, it could even be the whole Black Order, right? Because, there's no stopping them from doing the whole Black Order and bringing them all up to Legend difficulty. Besides that, what could they really mean by ascend? Well, the only other thing I would say is something like the artifact system, something like the ISO system or the enhancement system, something new, right? Some system like this with the swords, or some system like this with the team-up collection. I'll admit this is a weaker theory of mine, mainly because from recent memory, they like to introduce these things right before Black Friday, or they like to introduce them during the anniversary to sort of soften the blow. Right, and that's what I believe. That's what they did last year with swords, or was it Team Up Collection? I can't remember. But in any event, they usually like to do it around the anniversary. So yeah, it may be a little bit too early for that. But then that also got me thinking, okay, we know we're getting Thanos, we know we're getting Black Swan, but what are the chances, right? Pretty high that we're going to be getting somebody else. If there's somebody else that they didn't sneak peek for, but they're going to reveal in the live stream or they're going to reveal in the update, who could it possibly be? Well, I would say the very easiest and most straightforward guess, if they're giving something to Thanos, we know he's getting a new uniform, then it's possible that they're going to give something to the rest of the Black Order. Now, you know, they did a whole update for the Black Order years ago where they didn't give anything to Thanos when they gave them this dark obsidian armor. And then since then, Thanos has gotten 2 new uniforms. So it's possible that they don't do them at the same time anymore. They sort of spread them out. But it's also possible that, hey, maybe they do something for them. Maybe they unlock level 80 for them. Maybe they give them new uniforms. Maybe they're going to do a few now and then a few in the next batch of the update, because it is a lot, obviously, of uniforms. It's 5 new uniforms. Maybe just one of them, like a fan favorite, like Supergiant, is going to be getting a new uniform, a new look. It's hard to say, but whenever you have Thanos, the Black Order are not far behind. So I did want to point that out. Additionally, I wanted to point out the most obvious one. If we're getting something for Thanos, what happened to our boy Thane? It's literally his son, and he's trapped at tier 2. So it would certainly be a really good time for them to upgrade Thane to tier 3. Again, it has no connection to the update whatsoever. It has no connection to the storyline with the Library of Worlds. It's just that it's Thanos' son. That's literally all I've got. Now, as far as the library goes, it's a little bit more detailed because you have actual players from the comics who are already in the game. So, you know, a big one could be, if we're not going to get someone like Beyonder, could be Molecule Man, right? He features heavily in the world of libraries, or the Library of Worlds. And he's central to that plot. So he could certainly be getting a new uniform, getting a tier 4. Maybe he gets a tier 4 without a uniform, but that's enough. That's strong enough to make him a viable PvP threat these days. Like, I don't really know what it takes to make him a viable PvP threat. There's also the possibility of somebody like Doctor Doom, for, again, the same reasons as Molecule Man. He features heavily in that storyline. If they're not going to do Beyonder, maybe they do Doctor Doom. Maybe they want to give another tier 4 a new uniform and they go with Doctor Strange, because he's also featured as a Dark Priest. Again, some of these get, like, they go from like pretty plausible to least plausible pretty quickly. But I think it's worth mentioning just because we're getting this update, and I just, the more I think about it, the more I doubt that they're just going to drop 2 characters, one character, 1 uniform, and then dip, right, for 2 weeks. They want our money a little bit stronger than that. So then I was also thinking of the live stream sneak peek, right? This one right here with the feathers. Now, obviously the feathers could mean, and probably do mean, Black Swan, for sure. But like, there's gold feathers and there's like other colors there. So I was like, okay, let me just think out of the box here. Who could possibly be related to feathers in Marvel Future Fight right now? White Fox is probably my first guess. Maybe not the best guess, but it's certainly a guess, right? Feathers, sort of feathers. It's not really, it's fur, but it's sort of like feathers. Then you also have a much more obvious one, an Angel. Now, Angel has literally 0 connection. Also, White Fox has 0 connection to Thanos and Black Swan, but I'm just going on the basis of feathers and the fact that, of course, he has gigantic bird wings. You know who else has gigantic bird wings? And it's worth a mention. It's Vulture. Maybe they're going to give something to Vulture. Who knows? Because if you look at the team-up collection for Sinister Six, there's only 2 tier 4s. Right? And so giving a tier 4 to Vulture would give us a 3rd tier 4 in that category, which would fulfill some people's requirements. It would also be a pretty crazy power creep over Mystique. Could you imagine if they did that? That would be super toxic. But yeah, imagine that. That'd be crazy. So again, the feather thing just got me thinking. And then another one, this one's probably a long shot. This is not necessarily feathers, but I just looked at War Tiger's character model and it was like the exact colors, right? Except for red. That would maybe give it away too much, but white, gray, black, and gold. It's basically exactly his colors, right? It's exactly the same minus the red. So yeah, I don't know. Again, these have nothing to do with Thanos. These have nothing to do with Black Swan. But I am sort of in the camp now that there's probably more to the live stream that we're going to be seeing on Monday night than just, hey guys, it's 3RL. Here's the new World Boss Legend. Here's Black Swan, here's Thanos, here's the code, okay, bye. And I would sort of bet money on that at this point. But I'd also like to hear from you guys. What do you think this live stream is going to show us? Are there going to be major changes to World Boss with like new World Boss Legends that were existing World Boss Ultimates? Do you think they're going to shake up the World Boss system and they're going to change around the rewards and introduce target farming? Are they gonna maybe get rid of, what is it called again? Jeez, World Boss Beginner, and maybe just create normal, ultimate, and legend mode. Maybe they could even create normal and ultimate modes of the legends, so that newer players could practice. That would be pretty cool, and just have null unlocked and keep the other bosses with their same unlock requirements, so that new players could only practice against null but not the other bosses, and they would still have to climb. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. It helps with the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.